right, you got me. Family? All right.
These videos are like...
Okay, my name is Christian Boris. I'm one of the first viewers for Fraternity Brothers. Okay, so...
Thank you, guys.
Gotta kind of breathe, because you know what it is. And kind of collect myself. I nailed this last night twice. Crushed it. But this is for Chris. I say a friend and a brother. So I'm a huge golfer, and one of the weirdest things that of all of the times that Chris and I spent together, this is a little addendum to the top of the speech, we never golfed together. Golf even is insane. So that'll be part of this speech. So I spent the last couple of days in my backyard with my girlfriend who's here, basically thinking and taking my 65-degree lob wedge. I put a bucket about 12 yards away and was trying to get it into the bucket, which I filled with water. And I wouldn't put pen to paper until splashdown. After nearly 400 shots, I hit the bucket, sat down with a couple apple ciders, and you're about to hear what I wrote. So I'm going to give you guys a homework assignment. If Chris and I were here, you know, we're in our 40s. Your homework assignment tonight is to watch a British movie called The Trip. Not the sequel, it's the original. It's about two main characters in their 40s navigating life. There is a scene where they try to decide who does a better Michael Caine impersonation. Beer always thought I crushed them both. So, even though I was a Yank. So we're gonna do a little role playing here, and this is for my buddy Beer. All right. Now listen, Boris, you're there. We didn't think this would happen. But listen, she was only 15 years old. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off. And there's the older Michael Caine, the one from The Dark Knight Rises, the broke Michael Caine. Master, what if I told you that before she died, Rachel had written you a letter where she chose Harvey Dent? And to spare you pain, I burned that letter.
It's pretty good.
Now, listen, I'm acting as Michael Caine in the speech within the framework of Boris and Beer. You know, post-2010, they put me with a best friend, and basically this was modeled on Boris and Beer as Morgan Freeman. You might know him from The Shawshank Redemption and all the other movies where they need him. So, if you've seen The Shawshank Redemption, raise your hands. If you haven't, you're a wanker. Now, in the first scene, Fred remembers the first time he met his best friend, Andy. Oh, I remember the first time I met Christine. It was my second semester at Penn. Now, in my first semester, I had had many beers. First name was Bush, Heineken, Rock, Yingling.
Good stuff.
Even one named Jacob. Had the middle name Best. I was sitting in my calculus class and read an article. His last name was Beer, and I chuckled. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I'm saying that to Michael and Morgan. So I'll get to the story here. So I was sitting in my calculus class, and there was an op-ed about how Alan Keyes would be a good president. And I laughed because his last name was Beer. The next day, it was a time called Dry Week in Fraternity Rush period. And I went down with Ed Brown,
Ed Brown was fully intent on joining this fraternity, even much to his mother's chagrin at the time, because it was a bad reputation, but we're a good bunch of chaps. So Ed Brown, I brought him down. It was dry week laser tag, and I'm walking down Osage Alley behind AKL on the way to laser tag, and there was a guy I hadn't met. I said, "Hey, I'm Christian Boris." He goes, "My name's Chris Beer." I said, "Oh, you're the one that wrote that article." And from then on, we were inseparable. We were just two encyclopedias filled up with knowledge, and our only choice was to amuse ourselves by going down every weird rabbit hole that would annoy everybody. This guy could pull any movie line at any moment in any situation. He was a savant. Rain Man, but not on the spectrum. We literally could teach a college symposium and get paid 6 figures on the movie Cliffhanger. One of the funniest, bad, great movies of all times, all the different elements. We went down that so many times. One time during the summer, we were both there, we went to the mall. I think there was something called Hollywood Video and Movies where they sold VHS DVDs. Well, they also sold Reservoir Dog action figures. And they were 18 inches tall. I think he chose one of the characters. I chose Joe Cabot. If you know who Joe Cabot is, raise your hand. I want to have a drink with you. Mark Paul. There you go. So, Panama City, we went down there for spring break, and we're in Beer's red Toyota Celica, and we decided to just haul all the way back. Driving up, connected to I-81. And if you ever go on I-81 in Virginia, it's not like PA, it's super long. We spent the whole time doing impersonations of George W. Bush's cabinet to stay awake. Rumsfeld, Cheney, and Bush. And I still laugh about this day. Football, he loved football. We would party all night, and then people would go to their family tailgates. We'd wake up, walk down to Sharky's, and we did something called the pilgrimage, where we would stop there, and we had to finish 2 collective 6-packs before we got to the stadium. And we would have others join the pilgrimage. Now, after college, I was kind of like a cowboy for a very long time. I took a job as a weatherman out in Oregon, and he was always my first visitor out there. And that went on for 6 years. I have to tell this story because this is the post-college story of Chris Beer and his relation to me and others in our orbit. So Chris worked writing state exams for insurance, and he was assigned to different state capitals. I don't know if it was by random draw or not. You know, he could go to Pierre, South Dakota, Little Rock, Baton Rouge, but he also got the posh assignment of Honolulu, so he said, "Do you want to go?" I said, "Heck yeah, I want to go." And this was 2008. The Phillies were on a tear, and they had a Hawaiian player named Shane Victorino. So Beer, knowing that I'm good in front of a camera, microphone, or anything, says, "I think it's about midnight. We've been drinking all day." He goes, "Why don't you call in the WIP? Angelo, the sports talk morning show. We're in the hotel on Waikiki Beach." So he's baiting me, and he knows I can do it because I've done it before when he comes up to the West Coast. He goes, so I call in, I know exactly how to get into the media, and I go, "Angelo," goes, and he's a great guy, hilarious. "Christian in Honolulu, you're on WIP. Yeah, Angelo, we're here. We just want to say a shout out to the flying Hawaiian, Shane Victorino. Christian, let me ask you, have you been drinking all day? Or are you still drunk now?" I said, "Yeah, pretty much." And right then, Beer had set the trap. "Angelo, don't listen to him. He's a Giants fan." And it was Winners and Weasels Thursday. So I run into the bathroom with my cell phone and I lock the door. And right then they're questioning me more, and I just said, I just want to say aloha to Shane Victorino. I should have said mahalo, which means thank you, but we were drunk. At this point, there is on the door, it's our neighbors. It's a couple. Would you shut up? Of course, I diffused the situation. And beer, be quiet. We're gonna get kicked out. Then my phone rings. It says Mike Boris. Christian, I'm pulled over on the side of the Atlantic City Expressway. Did you just call WIP? I said yes. He's like, I am dying laughing. I can't believe you did that. But it's fantastic. Also, my future brother-in-law was in his driveway about to pull out. So, I'm going to tell you this, and I think Chris hit on it, or Bill, rather. He's part of you. He lived by his own code. He was a man of contradiction. He was brave, kind, abrasive, soft, loud, adventurous, fearful, silly, refined, disciplined, wild, worldly, spiritual, sporting, and also a lover of the arts. I was the one, oftentimes, that had to kind of decipher it to everybody and say, this is him. Okay, he's cool. Yeah. We would argue furiously and dig in our heels and never yield. And towards the end, we were separated a lot. And it was a lot of our text messages, and you didn't get the tone or the context if he was joking or was egging you on. And the world is sped up, and we argued. The context was lost at times over our perfectly eloquently chosen intellectual words. And not necessarily the sound of a brother sitting right next to you, like in the downstairs area of your fraternity house. Now to what I consider a very important part of a lifelong friendship. In the past year, we had 2 phone calls that were completely outside of our normal shenanigans and hijinks. They were parallel messages that we had to send to each other. There's no coincidences in God's design. It would be the final times we talked, and I hope what I had to say to him got through, because it got to me 100%. Oh, those of us that knew him talk about him often. The stuff he pulled. The world is much more drab and gray. That he's gone. I don't know. I guess that just means my friend. Thank you, Chris. We'll finally play a long time from now that game of golf in the sky.